The Brown Alumni Association. No matter when you graduated, the Brown Alumni Association is your lifelong connection to Brown, and their programs keep you connected to Brown. Programs like faculty lectures and other events sponsored by your local Brown Club or BrewNet, Brown's online alumni career networking community. To find out more, just visit Brown's website and click on the keyword alumni. The Brown Alumni Association is your lifelong connection to Brown and proud supporters of Brown University athletics.
Hi, this is Chris.
And welcome back here to Stevenson Field from Providence, Rhode Island. The Brown Bears and the UMass Minutemen. And they'll put the ball down. We're just underway. They killed the clock here on us and got started a couple minutes early. And UMass will have a restart. We'll get to those starters in just a second. This will be put into play by Will Ellis. Ball's going to be turned toward the near side corner. Brown's Jack Gorab checking two. It's out of bounds. And it will be a Brown throw-in. So, actually, it's offside, so they're going to put the ball on the ground. Mike, let's take a look at the starters first for the visiting Minutemen.
In between the pipes today, Jorge Becerra, the junior out of Rancho Cucamonga, California, making his third appearance of the season and his second start. 10 field players in front of him: Matthew Mooney, Josh Jess, Mark Morris, Will Ellis, Casey Hamill, Lenore Siri, Dylan Cranmer, Ty Goncalves, Brandon Merklin, and Mark Dunphy round out the starting 11 for head coach Fran O'Leary in his first season at the helm of the Minutemen.
Big win in the middle of the field. Looking for Chow was Welp, who had his jersey tugged. He turned around looking for the call. We'll get to the Brown starters in a second as Morris works up the left flank. Good sweep by Jamison Lockheed, who is one of 11 starters for the Brown Bears, in front of 10 of them in front of Eric Hansen.
And they include, as you mentioned, Jamison Lockheed, Jason Pesic, Will Cross, Matthew Chow, Gabe Welp, Tarek Akil, Carl Johan Mix, Jack Gorab, Louis Zingas, and, of course, Tim Whalen.
Ball rolls in on Hansen. It was a bit of a hard luck result for him on Friday evening against the Eagles. Right side, that's Carl Johan Mix. Looks like Gorab is playing one of the flank midfields. Whalen, Akil, and Chow are on the interior. Left flank back is Pesic with Lockheed and Welp in the middle. And there's your Brown shape as the ball is played up that left flank for Lenoir Seri. Massachusetts last in action, a 3-0 loss on Friday night at home to the Vermont Catamounts. Pesic putting that upfield, Cross making a run on it, but he's not going to catch up, and it will run. Ty Gonzalez, the leading scorer for UMass with a goal and an assist. Alex DeSantis starting the game on the bench. The sophomore out of Belchertown, Mass, has 3 helpers. And then there are 3 other Minutemen with a goal apiece. Lenoir Seri, the only one of them in the starting 11 for the Maroon and White, who are attacking left to right here in this first half. That ball sent up and over midfield. Whalen with a big win in the air. The turn, good leverage there by Chow, who works in transition, finds Gorab on the flank. Gorab settles back, plays it from Akil in the give and go. Gorab splits a couple of defenders, has some room, winds up to pull the trigger, and I think getting in his way was Josh Jess's frame and caused him to whiff.
Yeah, Jess got a little tiny touch on it, but enough where it was just out of his reach there as he was lining that up. The seas kind of parted for him as he was looking to get a shot on goal, but that last punt there by Becerra will definitely help out the Bears as they try to keep UMass locked in here.
Jessa, one of 4 players on that back line for UMass. The Bears will hope to put under duress, as that's Matthew Mooney on the left. He's listed at 5'8", and that is possibly generous as it's sent up that far flank by Mark Dunphy. Turned over. Zingas, who's moved off of the back line spot to now a flank midfield spot for the Bears, where he played last year. But he's moved from the near side to the far side, as it were. The quick toss for Akil.
And again, really the last opportunity for the Bears to kind of tinker with the lineup, get guys in different positions before they open Ivy play next weekend.
They will do so at Baker Field in New York City against Columbia, one of the squads that is expected to be one of the powers of the league this year.
Yeah, sitting at 4-1-1, they have the best record in the league. One of only two currently above 500, the other being Princeton at 3-2.
Good ball for Cross. It all started with Gorab in back. Now they'll play it for Zingas. Zingas has a Cross again on the flank. He cuts back, frees himself up, puts it across. Great ball. Almost made its way through to Pesek in on Becerra, who makes the save of the Zingas shot.
Yeah, well, that one kind of deflected off of Zingas as UMass trying to clear it out. Zingas in the way, took a deflection, was going on goal there, and it took a save from Becerra to keep it out.
You see Becerra, the junior out of Rancho Cucamonga, wearing the blue and yellow. On the other end, Hansen wearing bright red, which is apparently distinguishable from the maroon of the Minutemen. Ball played through, good ball for Seri, turned out by Welp. And it'll be a UMass throw. Ty Gonzalez will take the throw. Gonzalez out of Norwood, Massachusetts. Been brushing up on my Portuguese. Plays it to the right side. Cranmer, good ball. It's going to sail over on Mooney. Norwood right up the road from here up I-95. A turn by Mix is a nice play. And tossed in quickly for Tariq Akil. Akil up that far flank, picked up by Dunphy. Akil on the ball, curls it out toward midfield. Gorab for Chow, and here come the Bears in transition. Chow in a foot race for the ball will be set away by Josh Jess.
Yeah, good angle taken there by Jess coming off the back line and knock it away from Chow.
This game has a pretty good pace to it for the early goings. Does not look like Friday night, which was played between a couple teams that were really more interested in control. There's a good ball across for Zingas. The drive is blocked by Casey Hamill, but a terrific service off the left side by Jack Gorab.
Oh, perfect service there, and it's just too bad Zingas couldn't really pull the trigger on a one-timer, but did the best that he could with it afterwards, earning the corner kick, in which they will send Pesek over to the far side to take this one.
And they'll bring up Lockheed from the back line. Lockheed, of course, a big boy, listed at 6'3". Pesek over to that left side. Important to note, folks, the shadows are an issue with this 4:30 start, but not with the ball coming from that far side. We'll talk about that in a second.
Looks like the wind picking up just a little bit, too.
Good ball, looking for Welp, but it's headed out by Mark Morris of the Minutemen. UMass' only victory of the season came against Hartford 2-1, and Mike, this is where the sun could be an issue.
Exactly, as it sits behind us, you can see the goaltender putting his hand over his eyes there, trying to help shade himself a little bit. Dangerous opportunity coming up here for the Bears.
Gorab, a good strike, but it goes up and over the top. I think Zingas got a piece of it, and it's headed away. Chow turns it back off the foot of Zingas. Welp with a header over to the right side. Cross brings it back to feet. Looks to turn, puts it on the ground. It's knocked away. Welp will push it back to Cross on the flank. He has some room. Puts it off the backside of one of the Minutemen, and it'll be a throw-in for the Bears. And it looks like they're going to bring up Mix to take it again with English off. You don't have that long throw. He'll decide to take it quick for Zingas. UMass a little late to get there.
Yeah, no one picked up Zingas as he just found a little bit of an open space there in front of the corner flag.
Working with Mooney, he got his hands up, the waving flag from the AR. It's ticky-tack, but a foul called, and we'll have a whistle. But I was starting to say, Mike, it has been a much faster game than Friday was. Definitely seems like this is being played between a couple of New England teams, and as opposed to the more deliberate attack that was built up by Florida Gulf Coast, at least in the first half.
Yeah, it seems that, UMass is going to push the pace and play a little bit more vertical soccer than just spreading it out along the back line and continuing to touch it back. This UMass team very hungry for, a goal, to be honest, in a good solid result, and this could be something that really propels them in a better direction heading into Atlantic 10 play next week.
Dylan Cranmer knocked off the ball and his feet by Jack Gorab. And they're going to bring up Becerra, actually, to take this restart. A little unusual.
Yeah, all the way up to
now they're bringing back Ellis. I was going to say, that's just not.
That'd be a little bold.
Yeah.
Especially at least this early on in the contest. And apparently Will Cross was an inch too close to that restart.
That ball's going to sail in towards the goaltender, Hansen. A lot of bodies in front of him, but Hansen easily gobbling it up. He throws it in for Pesek, and a miss hit will give UMass the ball back. Cranmer tosses it in, looking for Lenoir Seri. A little miscommunication there. Gonsalves comes up with it, turns right. Drives a strike off of a back in on Hansen, who gobbles it up. Good attempt there by UMass.
Yeah, they were able to get it in deep. In for Mark Morris there at a little flick of the head. Was trying to pick out that side netting, but able to challenge for it and get to it first was Hansen.
Hansen puts the ball upfield over the head of Chow. Welp leaving it back for Lockheed, who will turn and go all the way back for Hansen. So far, it's as if really UMass dictating the pace of this one so far. Chow for Akil. Not saying they're controlling play, but it's definitely a pace they want to play at.
Yeah, and I think, the Bears are probably content to play at a higher pace anyway, so kind of suits both teams.
Near wing, Pesek, a nice step. The turn back for Ellis. And he'll play all the way back for Brandon Merklin, the freshman out of Long Island. Pushes it ahead for Gonsalves, who's played on both wings now. It looks like he switched there with Morris, who's all alone on the near side, wants the ball, but the turn is for Seri. You can see Welp grabbing at his jersey from this angle. And they'll switch off to the right side for Cranmer. He looks back, finds Ellis, puts it across. It's trailing in on Mix, who gets a head down for Zingas. Back to Mix and then out toward midfield. Zingas making a run on it, sends it ahead, but needed to play it to cross his feet. Jess back for UMass.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit tougher across the handle, though, because Merklin was all over him.
Jess watching the ball back on Becerra, who little lazy
there
with that. Yeah, had Cross and Gorab coming hard. They throw it in for Whalen. On the ground, it comes to Cross, chips it over the head of Gorab. He'll settle it back, looking perhaps for Chow, middle of the pitch. Chow squaring himself up, drives a shot in, and Becerra the save.
Well, that's a good thing. Becerra listed at 6'3". Mike needed pretty much all of that. That one labeled for that top corner, but Becerra, a nice snag. There's that one. Nice shot off the right foot of Matt Chow.
The wind may have made it a little more difficult to negotiate. It is starting to blow a little bit right to left here. Definitely breezier in this second half of our doubleheader than it was at all during our double overtime women's game earlier today. Thrown in, Gonsalves, Akil, looking for Whalen, who snapped at it but missed, and now in transition, it's played a nice ball. Dunphy for Seri, looks to turn on Lockheed, who has to stick it, and it's a corner kick.
A good-looking attack that time in transition. UMass showing the speed of Lenoir Seri. Able to get the step on the outside there and trying to play it in and really doing the smart thing, just trying to earn a corner kick at that point, and that's just what they did. They're going to at least give the impression of going short. As coming over to take it is Will Ellis.
Ellis, the senior out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Good ball. Headed the wrong way, though, as I think it was Merklin getting a piece of it. Turned on the left flank by Mooney. He works against Mix, puts it across and out of bounds for a goal kick. Alongside Mike Mancuso, I'm Mike Rubin. Great to have you on board with us. A pretty nice late September day here in Providence. Shame we weren't playing this one a little later. We'd be playing under the supermoon.
That's right. And even later we'd get the eclipse of the supermoon, even more rare happening.
With any luck, we'll be here the next time that happens in 2033. That would be the equivalent of as long as we've already been doing these games. It would be another 18 years. Nice ball for Chow. Tries to send himself through and couldn't.
UMass swarming around him as he got near the 18.
Near side, the transition. Gonzalez working up the right side. Picked up by Gorab, who pushes him back. Nowhere to go for Cranmer. Goes to Jess in the center of the back line. Here comes Cross. He's now reset himself onside. Good transition defense for the Bears there, Mike, because UMass, ooh.
A little bit of a high kick that time as Siri trying to make a play on it.
The throw in for Ellis. Headed down by Pesic. Whalen. And Akil just smoothly takes it away, drops it for Pesic.
And the Bears need to find a way to get Akil a little bit more involved. He's been almost invisible out there here in the first half, and usually he's had way more touches than he has today.
And that's going to be a UMass throw-in. Bears still trying to find their midfield shape. They have Chow, Whalen, and Akil in that central position. Akil last game was playing where Chow is in more of the attacking posture. Of course, the Bears without James Mayall, who we see in street clothes on the sidelines. And Gorab on the flank, he's also played that interior spot. Nice touch, Akil for Chow. Bears in transition. Has Zingas making the run. He just couldn't deliver it fast enough.
Too late. Yep.
Instead, it's Mix on the right side with overlapping run with Zingas. Zingas dribbling back towards midfield. Will have to drop back for Welp. Again, a good transition back, this time by UMass. Kept alive, far sideline by Mix. He works attacking right to left, tries to play it to the feet of Cross. Recovering is Mooney for the Minutemen. And outlets, Zingas gets ahead to it. Cross heading it back for Zingas, who's going to try and put it across, decides to give it. Cross back for Mix. Looking to center, has Whalen. And now Welp will switch for Pesic, and the Bears will build again. Pesic out to Welp on the right side. UMass running around a bit. They'll send it up on the right side. Can Zingas keep it in? He does with one touch. At the end line, back for Mix. He'll put it across. Akil there. Becerra gobbles it up. Good patience there, Mike, from the Bears as they really kept that sequence going for about 18 touches, I think.
Yeah, certainly connected a bunch of passes there and worked to what they really wanted was that cross coming from the far side. Zingas able to deliver, but Becerra able to get there as Becerra
can't punt today.
Taken down by the turf monster there at the top of the box. And
that's twice.
Maybe needs some different footwear today. I don't know. He's got a little of the slippy slidey out there.
Gorab, a great ball to switch for Zingas, who chest traps it, has Mix just behind him. Looks to step over his man. That's Hamill on the right. Zingas gets around him. The first stick. Zingas keeps it going. Back out for Mix, who has some room. Puts it across in on Becerra.
Yeah, last two crosses in from Mix, just a little too deep, making it too easy for Becerra to make a play on it, and he's done just that.
About 18 minutes gone here. Nice step by Pesic to slow out that transition. There's the throw. It's nice to see a legal throw on the near sideline, Mike.
Are you saying we've seen some that might not have been
just an observation. Just an observation. As a long throw guy, I'm sensitive to it. Because I could have thrown it 100 yards if I could throw it from behind my ear.
It's definitely a different technique the other night.
Ball switched on that far flank. Hamill back, and it's outletted. Welp will settle to the right side for Mix. Welp, and now here's all the way back for Hansen, who knocks it out. Headed through. Pesic retreating on the ball. Comes for Gorab on the near side. Waiting for Akil. He didn't have the pass develop. Gives it to Whalen, and again, Pesic will start the sequence.
And the Minutemen so active once they turn the ball over, Mike, really clogging up the passing lanes, making it difficult for the Bears to advance it up. Seen a couple of times the Bears look up, looking for somebody to show, but all they see is a bunch of red jerseys.
The turnover on the dish from Akil came to the foot of Matthew Mooney. Middle of the pitch, Ellis transitioning through Dunphy up the left side. That's a great ball for Mooney. He cuts back, steps over Mix, the drive, the shot, and the score! Could see it developing. A terrific finish for Mooney, who has his first goal of the season. And UMass has struck first. It's 1-0.
Yeah, it comes in the 20th minute of play. And, we've talked about the scoring woes for the Minutemen. So that is a huge goal for them here on the road, as they look for the upset bid, and the Bears not the start that they were looking for. And again, just too much freedom there on that far side, as Mooney able to free himself up and get the shot off.
The Bears midfield, particularly in the middle, needs to show up. I'm going to call, we very rarely call people out, but the middle of the midfield is invisible.
Yeah.
Defensively especially.
Yeah, again, too much freedom for some of these Minutemen attackers. And again, you just get the sense that UMass wants this one a little bit more right now. They've certainly come out with that fire. And, again, anytime they turn it over, they are all getting back as a team.
Gorab the cross, looked like it hit a hand. Chow the drive is blocked by Jess. It's a good-looking shot. And Seri will settle. UMass working upfield, gets around Pesic, and that's out of bounds.
But again, they got to be careful with Seri and his speed there, Mike. Very, very fast.
Ahead it comes for Akil on the throw-in. Pushes it to Chow. Again, got to make a quicker decision as Dunphy was
again,
right there.
The turnovers in the middle of the field have been killing the Bears so far in this opening 20 minutes.
UMass leading 1-0, a 20th minute goal from Matthew Mooney. Mark Dunphy the assist for both of them. Their first points of the season. Tell you, Dunphy listed at just 5'10". He looks bigger than that. Or he certainly looks longer than that. He has the ball off the throw-in. A good challenge there by Akil to come up with it, and they'll again build through Gorab on this left flank. He's immediately double-teamed, tries to get around Gonsalves. Steps through, fights his way around Cranmer, gets the ball back to Chow. Gorab was looking for the call, it never came. Chow still with the possession, works up the left side, gets to the end line, dribbles it in, takes a shot, and Becerra the save. Is that still in? It is.
Well, the AR didn't have a good look at it. Very, very close there on the end line.
But Chow was able to pretty much walk his way in, but didn't get a good shooting angle. Up goes Seri with the header.
Yeah, Cranmer was a little bit gassed after trying to battle against Gorab, and once Chow made his way up there, had some space to operate on the end line, but just couldn't either feed it across or get it past Becerra, who comes up with yet another save, his third of the day.
Bears started the year 3-0. Since then, they've lost 3 in a row, 2 of them by 1 goal, and the 3-1 loss was with an 85th or 6th minute goal against Clemson. But the Brown Bears' hallmark has been shutouts, and to date, they had just the season opening 2-0 victory against Quinnipiac and the 1-0 home win against Holy Cross. There's Gorab. I think one of the other bigger challenges, Mike, and to be perfectly honest, is there was a stretch where Brown did not lose at home. And in the last couple of years, home hasn't been as kind.
Yeah, they haven't been as invincible here at Stevenson as they had been in previous years.
I think between 9 and 12, the Bears didn't lose a home game, as again able to walk in, I should say, was Casey Hamill, and that draws another corner kick.
Yeah, again, UMass able to find some space inside the middle of the field today, and has come up with a couple of dangerous attacks. Have earned a couple of corner kicks as well, as multiple subs up and getting warmed up here for Coach Laughlin, as we are just past the midway point of the first half.
UMass continuing to play with a 1-0 lead, which is nice to see, as we are more than halfway through the first half. Here comes the corner kick from that far side. Played up, Mix wins it, but it's out of bounds and should be another corner. It is.
Could have been a foul too, as Mark Morris had 2 hands into the back of Mix, shoving him down.
Number 10, Will Ellis with the corner kick.
It looks like, is that Ellis or
No, it's the
Gonsalves?
17.
Yeah, it's Gonsalves.
And now Ellis.
Now Ellis.
And the AR, well, the AR giving the motion like, okay, guys.
This will be into the sun as the Bears stare. You could see That one played up and over. The big bicycle kick headed by Welp and knocked away by Pesic for another corner kick for UMass. It'll be their fourth.
Yeah, not the clearance that Pesic was looking there. And I know he wanted to get it out with the one-timer, went the big left foot, but curled it back over the end line, and that'll set up yet another UMass corner kick.
Number 10, Will Ellis on the corner kick.
Bears continuing to play with fire here in this first half.
Here's the service. It's a good ball. Akil heads that one away. That's how you do it. Got it about 30 yards out and mishit by the Minutemen. It'll be a Brown throw. We'll see with now ticking down to about 20 minutes to play. Both teams with some subs up. We'll see who goes to the bench first and for what, as it's brought down to feet by Matthew Chow. Off on the right side, Louis Zingas steps into the ball, and it's turned. Here comes UMass in transition. Lockheed will retreat, has Hansen showing too, and is able to turn it under duress away from Lenoir Seri. Looks to switch fields and finds Gorab on the left side. Gorab on the near flank is run down. No foul called, as they say it was shoulder to shoulder. Pesic back for Lockheed, and now near side Gorab working right to left. Gorab picking his head up, looks to turn for Akil, and now Cross and Gorab in tight quarters, and that's going to be a UMass throw according to the AR.
Yeah, not much dissent out of the Bears there.
No.
It did seem like Gorab hit it out.
I don't like the way this one's going.
No, and the Bears have not been able to come back from behind in any of their games so far this season.
Their first half woes have continued. They've not been a particularly good first half team. Whalen looking to the right for Zingas. He'll try and catch up to it on the right flank toward the corner. Steps over the ball. Cuts back in front. It skips in on Akil. I don't think Akil thought that ball was coming through.
Well, yeah, somehow it eluded 3 Minutemen defenders there and made its way onto the foot of Akil. And again, you could see how it did catch him off surprise, kind of popped up, and unfortunately for him, into the hands of Becerra,
who again punts one to the stands.
Yeah, he's really struggling back there.
The touch in transition, cross back from Gorab. Turns at the end line, didn't get much on it. Gorab looking to shield, and Becerra picks it up.
Again, the target was Chow racing in right at the corner of the 6. So he got tangled up with one of the defenders back there, but a legal challenge.
Ticking down to about 18 to play. The ball sent through. We played in on Becerra, who'll use his left foot out towards midfield. Mix heads it down, looking for Akil. It skipped past him. Cranmer was putting him under. Dunphy with a head to it, and it'll roll for a throw-in. Mix will step up to take the throw for the Bears. We'll toss it in for Akil, who had some space, but it quickly closed up on him. Mix for Zingas on the right side. Distributes back for Tariq Akil. Ahead for Chow. The touch back. Akil with some room. Looking to play it to the flank for Gorab. It's knocked upfield. Cross with a touch. Into the air, Gonzalez. Whalen near side. Another little touch from Gorab. Played out Whalen. Looking to get the ball back in. Decides to go back to Lockheed with Seri checking back to the ball. No foul called as Jamison Lockheed, the touch for Welp. He'll come back to the near flank. Headed down by the Minutemen. Sent out by UMass. Seri at midfield. It's between a couple of Bears. Is able to turn on Pesic. And now will work left to right. A cutback by Gonzalez to center. That's Morris feeding it through. Pesic stood it up and finds Tariq Akil, who will send a long ball off to the right. It hangs up for Zingas and is helped downfield. They'll flush out Merklin to pick up Zingas in the corner. He tacks the edge of the box, works to the end line. Merklin slows him down. Good defensive play. Finds Mix, does Zingas. Back for Akil. Over for Zingas again. Wants it on his right. Plays it back for Mix, top of the box. One too many touches, and Chow will have to reset. Works back over for Akil, but not a good touch. And again, set out of bounds. Where it'll be, now that stays inbounds, I should say. Where Welp will play it back for Jamison Lockheed. Lockheed looking left, wants to spread it out for Gorab, who waits on the ball, tries to turn his way around Cranmer. And again, through the double team, it'll be a Brown throw-in. Inside 16 minutes to play. Bears looking back to the bench, but Pesic has the ball. He puts it across. A couple Bears looking almost as if they were expecting Quinn English to be checking in for the long throw. UMass leading 1-0 on the Matthew Mooney goal. Settled down in the midfield. Akil a little late getting there. Turned by Dunphy, who had the assist. Leveraging himself against Lockheed as Morris, and they'll get a foul on the Brown Jr.
Yeah, Lockheed getting tangled up there with Morris. And again, at the end there, when you saw both those arms kind of shoving Morris down, you're going to get called for that every time. And a bit of a dangerous spot here again, about 30 yards out or so for the Minutemen.
Matt Pease and Zach Sampson, a couple of Massachusetts natives, getting ready to check in for the Minutemen. Cranmer, the strike. It's a good ball. Curls back toward the 6. A whiff there by Mooney. Back up by Gonzalez out to that far side. Mix the first ball. Mooney the second ball. Trying to juggle the drive, the turn. That's a corner kick. It will allow UMass to make the substitution. As they do, we'll tell you that Brown Soccer brought to you by the Brown University Sports Foundation. Great students and great athletes need great donors. The Brown University Sports Foundation, sportsfoundation.brown.edu. Quinn English and Mike Leone will check in. Tarek Akil off, as is Zingas. For UMass, Gonzalez and Cranmer check off.
Yeah, good minutes out of those two for the Minutemen.
Indeed.
Keel just couldn't get himself going there in the first half as he comes to the bench.
Leone is going to hustle after it on the near side flank. He'll carry out of the back line. Puts it on a line, looking for Chow, but the ball's behind Chow. Gorab. But now looks like they've got Gorab, Cross, Chow. Leone playing a central midfield spot of sorts. Ball thrown for Gorab. Keeps it moving for Cross on the left side. They're still trying to attack off this corner through a double team. One of them fell down, and that's out of bounds. That's a goal kick.
Again, Cross, was trying to split the double team there, but just couldn't quite make it through.
I can sense the frustration now, Mike, both on the side of the Brown fans and the bench a little bit.
Well, they're definitely not playing out how they might have thought it would, Mike. And, each game is its own entity. No matter what your record is coming in, you have to show up and give it a full 90-minute effort. Bears maybe taking it easy a little bit, coming out a little bit flat-footed in this opening half.
Well, UMass came to play from minute one, that's for sure. A lot of energy on the side of UMass, and a miscommunication between Chow and Cross. You could sense the frustration mounting out on the pitch as well. Again, the Bears with a penalty kick goal on Friday, so it's been a while since they've scored a goal in the run of play.
Yeah, you got to go back to the Clemson game.
Early in the second half at that. UMass going to take this throw in here with 12 and a half to play is Casey Hamill, the native of Chelmsford, Mass. Spent a year at Bridgeton Academy before going to UMass. And another throw in. They'll say UMass throw, although even UMass was backing off of that one, thinking it was a Brown throw. Hamill seems to have a long throw. That's a decent one. Headed away by Welp. Settled in the midfield, Sampson. Pushes it out wide for Hamill. Looks to turn on English. Puts it across. One in the air. Sari just couldn't get a run on it. Knocked away by Lockheed. Middle of the field, here's Pease, the Natick, Massachusetts native. Back for Merklin, who'll send it up the near side. Pesic, letting it run underneath him, gets bumped, keeps it alive. Gorab turns. There's a man coming behind him, waited too long, and Whalen will finally send it away. Cross for Pesic. He'll work up the left flank as a man. Good recovery speed there by Sampson. And now Pesic had his hands up. Could have been a foul. That's out of bounds. And the Bears will sub in Pomeroy for Cross. Bears don't have, I don't know
they look out of sync.
They look late. They look, UMass wants the ball more than the Bears right now. That's they're beating the Bears to every single ball.
Sure.
Pomeroy, Gorab, and Whalen in close quarters. Whalen heads it through. Pomeroy gets a head on it, and it'll run in on Becerra. So we're inside, 11 minutes to play here, first half. Again, if you're joining us late, Mooney scored in the 20th minute for UMass on a feed through. One sent upfield by Becerra. Up comes Whalen, but it's one in the air by Dunphy of UMass. Looked like a handball. They'll say play on as Leon came away with the possession. Off to the right flank for Quinn English. English loses the ball, and that's a UMass throw.
He lost his footing first there as he was trying to cut back, and I'm going to say last touched by him as well.
They're going to back up. I think that's Hamill on that left side. 10 minutes left here, first half. There's the throw. Sari off his obliques. Looks like he got him right in the ribs. He'll span the field to Sampson on the right side. He works left to right. Make him out with those bright orange boots. And he's run down by Gorab. And Pesic looking around, but that's a foul.
Yeah, as the both of them were closing down on him. Kind of just sandwiched him and tripped him up. Pretty easy call for the official to make.
UMass 1-8 coming into today's game. Last victory on the 16th of September, a 2-1 marker against Hartford. Here comes the service. Good ball again. Knocked down by Leon. Served back in. Headed through. And now the Bears perhaps a transition, but Chow stood up by Jess. A good read by Jess. He'll come back to the right side for Merklin. Pesic able to take it away, settles the ball, and now pushes for Jack Gorab. The touchback for Leon.
Very dangerous ball there by Leon, Mike. I don't know how many times Coach Laughlin wants them going right across the middle on the back line like that.
Chow for Pomeroy, top of the 18, now off to the flank, shields the ball off. On the right side, doesn't have a lot of support, puts it across, I guess looking for Gorab or England, I'm not really sure, but it ends up awayed by the D. Whalen for Leon via Pesic. Comes back to Pesic on the flank. To center for Whalen. Chips it over the head of English, and that's going to run.
Yeah, again, it's the right idea, Mike, but just the execution not quite where it needs to be today for the Bears so far.
We're inside 8 to play as they set this one up for UMass's throw-in on the far side. Up steps Welp. And again out of bounds. Brown Soccer brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, open happiness. Left side, the ball's going to run. Throw in for the Bears. Mix for Leon. Over for Mix right at the midfield stripe, far side. He'll go all the way back for Hansen. Was really hung out to dry on the goal. There wasn't much he could do. Pesic. Whalen and now Chow looking to turn, but again, here comes Pease with fresh legs. And that runs for a UMass throw. It's a tough one if you're the Bears. Middle of the field. Whalen knocking a man down. Pesic got a foot to the ball. It'll be knocked out to the near sideline. Sari with a little settle to it around Leon.
But, you know, that ball was up there for a good 3 seconds, Mike, and there wasn't a Bear next to him as Sari had a free reign to get that first touch.
Well, we wondered if the Bears are going to be able to bounce back from Friday night, and I'll tell you, the first half has been uninspiring. uninspiring and uninspired. It's been a very flat half, and you know, UMass lost 3-0. It's sometimes easier to come back from those.
Yep.
As there's a 50-50 challenge in midfield deemed a foul, and Brown will put the ball down and play it short for Whalen.
Gotta be careful. Siri was basically right next to him.
Pesic cutting back on Sampson. Comes to the left flank for Gorab. Again, there's a UMass player immediately on him.
If not two.
Yeah, Pesic looking to juggle, wants to turn, settles it back for Leon. The strike knocked down.
Handball. That was clear as day.
Man.
Yeesh.
I don't think the referee saw it. I think he was behind.
All the UMass fans saw. We know.
Yeah.
They know that one crawled up.
Yeah, well, the referee was behind Will Ellis. And to be frank, our referee is of diminutive stature. And Ellis is about 6 feet tall. He didn't see it. He just flat out did not see it.
So the Bears make a sub. William Van Zandt getting his first minutes as a Brown Bear today. The freshman out of Los Angeles.
Why not? I mean,
giving one of the co-captains, Tim Whalen, a breather on the bench for the remainder of this half with about 5 minutes to go.
Get the sense that Whalen's been moved around a lot in his career. He was a center back last year. He was a flank back before that. He's played in the midfield. But you get the sense that the Bears in the midfield are still looking for their shape.
Well, and obviously today it's kind of become fairly apparent that they've had their struggles in the midfield, as most of them have now been subbed out by this point.
Gorab and I think Chow, the only two players that remain in, and Chow certainly more of an attacker. That one played up, a good ball for Pomeroy on the right side. He looks to turn, keeps the possession on the end line, lost his footing, continues to battle, turns it back for Mix, who got a little too cute with it. It might have been behind him as well. And
also might have been thinking pass and shot at the same time and wound up
that should be a
down.
foul. Yeah, a foul there on Morris, who took out the feet of CJ Mix. We're ticking into the final 4 minutes or so of this first half. Bears still looking for the equalizer, trailing 1-0 here against UMass. It has, again, been a very flat game for the Bears and a very, I think, high energy game for the Minutemen. So they're going to use Pesic and his left foot on that far side. Puts it across, headed out by UMass, and that's going to be Bears catching a break.
Yeah, it looked like it might have deflected. And even the AR didn't know who it hit off of. He had to look back to the ref. And
neither one of them really knew. It's like the appeal of a check swing. I'll go with strike this time. Here comes English's big throw. It's in on Becerra. Ball is down, knocked in front, and Welp couldn't get ahead on it.
Again, Becerra wanted to call for some pushing or interference inside the 6 there, but
it's not
going to
Friday.
get it. No, well, there was, about 6 guys next to him, too, including 2 of his own men. So, just a lot of big boys in there mixing it up.
Give him credit for standing his ground and reaching over and grabbing it, as he now sends that one between the sidelines. He's struggled with that today, but that's been more on the punts. And that will run for a throw-in. Pesic will take the throw. Inside 3 minutes to play here. Pesic for Van Zandt. Back for Pesic, and now Lockheed. And again, right on him. Two UMass players.
I mean, these UMass guys are quick.
They're using it to their advantage as the nice switch by Pomeroy finds English. English on that right side, looks to take the end line, plays it in towards center. Chow knocked down. Mix. Chow slow getting up. The play by Van Zandt. Tries to hustle after it. Comes up with the loose ball and will turn back for Pesic. Chow's reset himself back on side. Chow putting it across for English. And he's unable to keep it in.
It's a little too much leg that time again from Pesic, trying to get English on the run there towards that far corner. Under 2 minutes to go here, first half.
Earlier this weekend, a couple Ivy League schools coming up with wins. Princeton beating, I think it was Binghamton. Columbia had a draw, but I know Dartmouth beat Hofstra, and was it Yale?
Yale lost to Rhode Island 3-0. Columbia tied New Hampshire, and Dartmouth beat Hofstra 3-0.
So Bears are looking to avoid being shut out this weekend in a couple of home games at that. As that one's sent upfield, up goes Leon.
It would also drop them below 500 for the first time this season.
After starting 3-0. Right side, English trying to catch up with it in the corner. He's watched there by Mooney. Looks to cut back, pushes it to Van Zandt, and again,
with a man right on him, though.
Yep.
You know, that's
the Bears are waiting. It's like the ball is playing the Bears, and UMass is playing the ball.
UMass is doing a great job anticipating here today. They've been able to read the Bears pretty easily on what they want to do and who they're trying to get the ball to. Is Samuel Asamoah, freshman out of Springfield. We'll check in now for the Minutemen, replacing Mark Morris.
Final minute of the first half here. We're trying to get Asamoah in for a little while there. So he's a freshman out of Springfield, Mass, not too far from Amherst. Far wing. Ball pushed upfield. Asamoah, the fresh legs, and Welp sets it out of bounds, but final half minute about done here as the Bears will lock in for this, rather the Minutemen will lock in the Bears deep with this throw for Mix. Leone immediately double teamed again. Ball on the ground for a foul, and the Bears already hustling off for the for halftime. And Pat Laughlin can be none too pleased with that effort, Mike. And on the other side, we said Fran O'Leary would have his Minutemen ready to play in his return to Stevenson, and, well, we were right.
Yeah, definitely a half to forget for the Bears. Certainly not the best half we've seen here this season.
No.
And certainly a lot for Coach Laughlin to go over at the half. Or maybe he does one of these silent treatments and lets the players kind of figure it out. We'll have to see.
With the Bears trailing 1-0, we'll step aside. We'll be back with our halftime report from Stevenson here on Brown Bears TV.
Berman of ESPN, but I'm just as proud to say Chris Berman, Brown, class of 1977. My time at Brown was as special as any period in my life because of the school and the people. Brown, I learned to think, communicate, and appreciate. I make it my business to get back to campus at least once a year because it makes me feel great. I wish I'd saved some of my shoulder-length hair, though, because, you know what? I could use it now.
Help our great students become great athletes. Make a gift today by calling the Brown Sports Foundation at 401-863-1900.
Welcome back, folks. Good to be with you here at Stevenson Field. Second half about to get underway alongside Mike Mancuso. I'm Mike Rubin as the shadows descend across this pitch. We're trying to make out what this lineup was going to look like, and it's different. As Tarek Akil checks back in, Mike Leone still on the pitch, as is William Van Zandt. Matthew Chow will cross, and it looks like Jack Gorab. The backs are still Pesek, Welp, Mix, and Lockheed. And we'll see if the Bears can turn it up a notch here in the second half. Here's Welp, Mix, and now on the near side, here comes Chow. And that's played out of bounds by Mooney, who heard Chow coming, and now here's Mix on the near side, tossing it in for Akil. He'll touch back. Mix will look to switch using Welp. Nope, they'll come back for Akil. And a tough first touch. So Bears attacking left to right, wearing the home brown and whites. The maroon and white is UMass with the white numerals and the white trim. They're attacking right to left and with the lead. Akil out to Will Cross in the midfield. He looks left, feeds it over for Gorab, but it's too far in front of his co-captain, and it'll be a throw-in for UMass.
Again, the Bears just still out of sync here.
Gorab up, Leone, Van Zandt, and now Akil in transition. Steps over the ball, delivers for Gorab on the left side. He'll have it knocked out by Gonzalez. And a throw-in for the Bears. Tossed in quickly, Jason Pesek. Ahead, Akil, a good look for Gorab. Pushes it across, driven out to Becerra. Leone, the strike up and over the net. And Leone wants that one back, Mike.
Oh, so do the Bears, Mike. There was a huge collision there. Originally, Becerra, and I think it was Merklin, as the keeper took out his own defender there, left the ball kind of open to the top of the 18. And
Will Ellis is trying to say that it was Will Cross, and Cross is saying, hey, it was your guy, dude.
Well, unless he was saying he was pushed into him, but that didn't seem to be the case from the initial viewing from up here.
Indeed, indeed, it was not. Couple minutes gone here in the second half. Gorab in the air. Left side, Pesic. Ahead for Cross. He turns on the left side. Works up the flank, delivers it again. This time Gorab looking to turn, and he's wiped out by Josh Jess.
Yeah, I'm not sure Jess really needed to do that, Mike, is even with that touch, I don't think Gorab was going to gain it back on the end line there. Instead, the Bears get a free kick in a very good spot. Shorter than a corner and at a better angle.
Leone and Mix are back.
And I think it's spray time for the ref.
They all carry it now.
I think it's mandatory now. I think you have to, yeah.
I didn't get the rule book this year, so I figured.
Plus, if you're going to be a ref, that's one of the coolest things you have. Line spray.
I suppose. It's definitely more than 10 steps for this referee. Let's leave it at that. He's called a pretty even match thus far. There's the strike. It's a good ball and headed away. I think it was, I want to say Dunphy getting ahead to it.
Dunphy, who again, he's listed at 5'10", but seems a little bit taller than that.
He definitely does.
Able to get up nicely for the Minutemen and knock it out of harm's way, but it does result in a corner for the Bears. Pesic on it from the near side. Sun a factor here for Becerra.
There's the strike for Pesic. It's long. Up goes Lockheed. It hits a body. Lenoir Seri gets a piece of it. Chow, the side of the foot, gets it back out to Pesic, who will settle. Cuts back, serves it. Becerra comes out, gets a catch in front of Gorab.
Yeah, Becerra reading that well again, as he was able to get just in front of Jack Gorab. Snag it out of the air one more time.
Becerra's played 135 minutes this season, has made 6 saves, allowed 4 goals, has an 0-1 record. Ball switched to the near side with a little too much behind it for a Brown throw-in. Temperatures continuing to drop here in Providence. We're in the mid-60s, mid to high 60s earlier. It's definitely in the low 60s now, maybe even cooler in the shade. Akil. Nice stick by Dunphy. Brown throw. Mix for Chow. Off the throw. Settles it for Mix on the right side. A good look for Cross. He'll touch for Akil. Centers it. Van Zant. Good look for Cross. He'll turn. Pushes it out for Gorab on the left. That was a good ball. Gorab takes the end line and dribbles it out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he had an opportunity there to play it off the defender to get the corner, but tried to turn the corner that time and just ran out of real estate on the end line.
5 minutes gone here in the second half. UMass still leading 1-0. Here comes Becerra's goal kick. And this is the window, Mike, that the sun's really the biggest factor. Until probably from now until about 6:15 Eastern time. Akil on that far side, he'll say out of bounds. AR had his flag up.
Yeah, it must have been just a hair over that touch line.
Looked good from over here. Just saying. We had a better angle at it.
Akil thought it looked good too.
Yeah. So the ball jockey over there, he didn't put his hand up. Sketchy call. Looked like Mooney did a good job of selling it.
Yeah, well, Chow had his leg out there for a long time, and Mooney just kind of fell over it.
Mix ahead for Chow, who's beaten to it by Hamill, and they'll get Hamill for hands of the back.
Well, there's the return.
Makeup call.
Oh, and Chow's got to be careful. Well, maybe he didn't see the. Lockheed trying to get his troops up the field here.
It's turning into one of those broadcasts, isn't it? Ball switched over for Pesic. He'll put it upfield. And Minutemen do the Bears a favor as Cranmer heads it out of bounds. Tossed in for Cross. Ahead Gorab, off a foot. Like Gonzalez. Ahead for Van Zant off of Lockheed. And up the right side comes Mark Morris. That's out of bounds.
Pesic, a well-timed challenge that time.
Oof. Heard that one all the way up here, and they're going to get hands on the back of Lockheed on Sari.
Yep, Sari, both hands on the Brown defender that time. Trying to shove him out of the way, with the referee all over it.
Gabe Welp off the restart. Trucks it to the near side mix. Pushes it to the right flank for Chow. Again, UMass all over the ball. Chipped up, Welp uses the head, well played. Morris, or rather Mooney, I'm sorry. Looks to the left side, finds Casey Hamill. Akil trying to close in, Hamill working in, and Welp has to force it out of bounds for a corner kick. UMass, again, continuing to just have a little bit more zip than the Bears.
Yeah, you know, not to say that the Bears got off to the worst start here in the second half. It did seem to be controlling most of the action, but you're right. UMass just as an overall team just seems to have, again, a little bit more hunger out there, Mike. They just seem to really want that ball more, and it shows as they get after it on the defensive end. And you know, they're going full speed the whole time. No sitting back for the Minutemen here.
They take their time on these set pieces, but they have the entire day. That one's pushed upfield. Off the header. Van Zant marking Mooney off the side of the foot of Cross. Taken away by Akil. He has Leone running with him. Gives it to him on the right side. Back for Akil. Big gap in the midfield as it sails over for Gorab. He'll touch for Pesic. On a line ahead for Cross. Tough touch. Sari gets inside position on Lockheed. Cuts it back. Good ball. Play on called. The strike and the save.
Very good strike that time, even though it was from distance. Mark Morris, a little bit of a worm burner that kind of hopped up on Hansen at the last second, but Hansen able to make the stop.
Hansen looking up, rather downfield, I should say. Turned, crossed. Look at that.
Look at five red shirts around him. Yep.
And then a sixth behind the play was Ellis.
Yep, the Bears just, waiting on the ball. They got to get to it.
Left side. That's going to sail on Gorab. He gets a touch. Works down that left side. Cuts back in front. Cross couldn't quite turn and pull the trigger. And it'll be a wade out to Gonzalez. Past Pesic. And ahead for Sari. On the right side, being picked up by Lockheed. Gets a step on Lockheed, works toward the end line, and keeps it alive. The touchback for Gonzalez. Puts it across, headed out by Mix. Again, UMass getting after the ball. They'll go all the way back for Becerra. Cross putting him under a little bit of pressure. Jess.
And Becerra's had some troubles today, both with some of his punts and his outlets from the back.
Jess and Ellis on the right side for Gonzalez. The give and go run well. Cranmer on the right side has some room. Pesic is on his horse. The ball flicked past the drive. Mix got a heel on it.
Just barely, but enough to deflect the shot.
That could have been coming back from an offside position. Refs didn't get it, and UMass able to keep it alive with Mooney on the left side, turning on Mix, and a corner kick.
As much as it is a problem for the players with that sun setting, Mike, I think it's a huge problem for the AR on the far side to pick up that ball and some of the action from that corner. You could see him over there with his hand over his eyes.
Again, the shadows almost entirely across the field at this point. A couple more changes. Getting ready to check in for the Bears with this corner kick. And again, I said by 6 o'clock it won't be a problem. I'm feeling pretty good about that estimate. It's a good corner kick, headed away by Tariq Akil. Mooney goes up, wins it. Akil first ball, whiffs on the away, and sent out of bounds again by one of the Bears. I think Tariq Akil again. And Akil looks tired, doesn't he?
I don't know about tired, but frustrated for sure.
Maybe?
Let's face it, he was the only Bear to get a touch to it. He got the last 3 touches, and he was in 3 different spots in the 18.
Mooney on the near side, and that's a Brown throw, and that'll allow the Bears to make a change. 4 of them, in fact. They're going to let Whalen in. So Van Zandt off, Chow off, Lockheed off, and Mix off. So the Bears bringing in Louis Zingas, Jack Hagstrom, and Dean Blomberg, and Tim Whalen.
Yep.
You got to wonder if this was a game they'd wanted to give maybe Hagstrom the day off after playing a lot of minutes as a first year. See what Lockheed could do, but it looks like they've made the change in the back line. To see 2 substitutions is unusual.
Yeah, well, Lockheed's had to try to keep pace with Siri and his blazing speed out there, so
fresh legs.
A lot of running up and down that field, and you certainly don't want to give another one up to the Minutemen.
No.
So put Hagstrom back at one of those center back positions and let him do some running for a bit. Again, they have about a week until their next game, so certainly some time to recover after this one.
Zingas in at the right outside back. He's played flank midfield on the near side. He's also played flank back on the other side, but right now that's Pesik's spot with Mix out of the lineup right now. So Zingas kind of a utility guy at this point. Nice punt there by Becerra, so that's what happens when he gets all of it. Middle of the field, Leone bowled over. Gets the second ball ahead for Akil. Will cut back. Centers for Whalen. And now Gorab has Blombergen. Can he get it there? Nope. It's a bad touch. Plain and simple. Ahead it comes for Siri. He'll look to turn and they'll say Siri was offsides. Quick restart. Welp for Zingas. Cross midfield for Whalen. Begged the ref. Akil has Zingas on the near side. Goes back for Hagstrom. And again for Whalen. For Leone. Bears do not have a clean... This is the first time that I think we've noticed the absence of James Mile. I think that's a big part of this right now.
Yeah,
in that
Mile
midfield.
has been sidelined for a couple of games now. Straight close today.
An open net situation as Hansen put it right on the foot of Mark Morris. Morris was unable to pull the trigger, however. Welp will settle. Zingas back. There's Hagstrom. He'll be put under. Finds Akil. Blombergen. That's a foul. Easy call. Casey Hamill bumping Blombergen off the ball. Bears will play it short and quick. Akil has Zingas, but he's triple teamed.
Yep. Again, the Bears just need to make quicker decisions, Mike. They're holding it a step or two too long, and UMass makes them pay each and every time.
Hansen sends it upfield. It's disheartening and frustrating. Siri working back towards center. And UMass will turn it back. Playing with the lead are the Minutemen for the first time in a while. And doing well with it as Gorab Feld. Play on called. I'm not really sure the advantage, but the Bears will take it.
I think it was more just get up rather than a play on.
Cross. Turned out of bounds. Did one of the Minutemen. I think it was Gonzalez. And it'll be a Brown throw. They'll take it quickly for Pesek. He puts it across. Dunphy knocks it away. Middle of the pitch is Welp. Has Zingas out to the near side. He'll give it out. He'll try and give it. That's a foul.
That could be a card, too.
It should be a card.
Yep.
So they're going to card Louis Zingas.
Yep. Easy one for the official that time is Mooney off to the races. Zingas just hauling him down. No dispute about that one.
Nope.
Time of the card, 60-55.
UMass's goal, snapping a 2-game shutout streak. In fact, in their previous 5 matches, they'd scored at least one, only twice. They've been shut out a lot this year. The first 3 games they were shut out. And then after dropping a 5-1 decision to Central Connecticut, were shut out by the Albany Great Danes 4-0. Become quite accustomed to playing away from home. They've played just 4 home games in these first 10 matches of the season.
Well, this is only the Bears' 3rd home game.
A drive knocked down, the turn, Good step there by Pesic, and they'll get hands in the back on Brandon Merklin.
Bears with a quick restart. Kind of smart this time. Try to catch UMass in transition. Gorab now on the run.
Good closing speed by Gonzalez, but he gets the ball across to Will Cross. He'll look to serve it, puts it up, headed down. Leone, and again in a good spot, drives the shot. That looked like another handball.
Certainly very close again. Coach Laughlin and the coaching staff.
I mean, the first one, okay, you're shielded by a player, but that one, pretty apparent as Leone had taken a drive that looked like it went right off of Dunphy's wrist. And now in transition the other way comes Casey Hamill. He gives it to Seri. Seri on the near side of the box is picked up by Zingas. Loads up the shot off the inside of the pipe. Oh, it should be 2-0, Mike.
Oh, how did that not go in for UMass? Seri was able to beat Hansen. Skimmed off the post and
he beat him right down under his right arm.
Along the goal line, but did not cross in.
It went right underneath his right arm. I watched it in. Now UMass changing up as Zach Sampson will check in. Brown will get Nate Pomeroy in for Mike Leone. And it looks like Gonzalez checking out for UMass. Gets a round of applause from the...
Yeah, again, good minutes out of him. Had a good first half as well. So Ellis, joined by Sampson now on the corner kick. Pesic and Gorab defending short.
Headed down, and Hansen gets his gloves on it. 27 minutes and change. They throw it in for Blombergen on the left side. They'll slow things down for Whalen. Whalen continues to carry. I don't know who he was passing it to. Again,
if you were tracking turnovers in the midfield today, the Bears would have
bet the over.
A very high number.
Bet the over. Pushed up, Cross looking to settle. Loses the handle on that far wing. Brown Soccer brought to you by the Brown University Sports Foundation. 401-863-1900. Throw in for UMass on that far wing. There's Jack Hagstrom. Run down. That's a dangerous collision.
Yeah, that was a dangerous challenge down there.
Hagstrom quickly gets right back up. They should put the ball down, and they will. We could talk all we want about the couple of handball calls, Mike, that weren't. You got to create your own luck too.
Yeah, I mean, again,
that's not the game.
They have not been able to flip the switch. They had a tough first half and have unfortunately kind of continued on that trajectory. They've shown a couple flashes here and there, but certainly have not played as well as we've seen them play this season.
Akil. The give and go with Pomeroy on the flank. And turned back, Akil for Whalen. Gives it to Pomeroy. Whalen slows it up. Waits on it, drops it back for Akil. Zingas is begging for the ball. You can hear him calling for it. Welp turns it right back over to that left side. That's Whalen, I believe. He'll drop back for Pesic. And the turnover in the midfield. Seri looking right to left for UMass. Comes back to center for Mark Morris. Comes to the left side. Mooney, it's a good ball for Mooney on the left. Puts it across. Oh, boy. Even Hansen seemed a little late to read that one, Mike.
Yeah, Hagstrom was able to get to it first, fortunately for the Bears, but...
Cross to the left, passes a little behind Pomeroy. He'll cut back towards center, looking to play it vertically.
But just holding too long.
Touched by Gorab, deflects. Pomeroy calling off. Gets back up, slides through, and gives it to Pesic. Pomeroy trying to get the Bears motor running here. Sends the ball from Cross. Can he catch up to it? He does. It's on the edge of the 6, knocked away. Trying to square himself off his cross. Centers for Akil. Akil cuts back, looks left. Gorab, Pomeroy, the strike, and the score! Great finish for Nate Pomeroy. Off the corner, lofts it in. A Becerra. The Bears have a marker, and it's 1-1.
First of the season there for Nate Pomeroy, and really deserved a lot of credit, Mike. Held it too long in the midfield, turned it over, but fought all the way back, regained possession for the Bears, and got that attack going. Nice finish, able to drop it in and over Jorge Becerra as we're knotted up with about 24 minutes to play.
Pomeroy deserved that, Mike. I mean, that was a terrific, we haven't said this about too many Bears yet today. It was a good sequence for Nate Pomeroy. It was a good, maybe minute and a half of keeping his motor running. And I think the message now for the rest of the Bears is have that effort.
Right, if everybody plays
like that, you're going to beat this UMass team.
Basically, he was playing like the Minutemen have been playing. Even if you turn it over, you don't pout, you just get back, get that ball back. That's what Pomeroy did. Took a page right out of the UMass book today. Gained it back, and it wound up resulting in a goal for the Bears. Can they keep the pressure going?
Ball pushed upfield. Hagstrom, big win in the air. Settled down in the midfield by Morris. Mooney keeps it moving with a little heel pass for Hamill. He had gotten behind Blomberg and centers it. It hit off of either Blomberg or Welp. Zingas to Akil. Back for Zingas, and he'll kick it away. Akil and Gorab both notching assists on the goal. Akil certainly. UMass making a change. It looks like Kevin Bueno checking in for Mark Morris. Blombergen off for Quinn English for the Brown Bears. Bueno, the freshman out of Dalton, Mass, not too far away from the UMass campus. As I like to say, being an Eastern Mass guy, that's out in the Wild Wild West. Gorab looking to turn, and they'll get that handball. Was right in front of the referee.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
No, it does not.
Right at the midway point now of the second half. Bears looking for their first come-from-behind win of the season.
Now they gave up the second goal on Friday night, I should say, minutes after.
Yeah, 4 minutes after Akil tied it up with the PK.
The same thing happened against Georgia State, where they gave up a quick one after scoring. So this one set up field by Hansen, who made a stop there. Whalen for Pomeroy. Pomeroy drops it back for Gorab. It deflects. Akil watching. Here's Welp. Shoulder to shoulder. Plays it off of Seri for a Brown throw. Nice hustle there out of Gabe Welp. He's a little slow getting up, however.
Well, Siri came hard at him as he was approaching that sideline.
It's like the Bears getting ready to get Eric Sugarman, the junior out of Livingston, New Jersey, into the game. I don't know that Sugarman's seen action yet.
It would be his
year.
second appearance of the season for Sugarman.
Akil, near flank for English. He's pushed.
Yeah, hacked down as well.
Yeah.
Getting a good chunk of him was Casey Hamill, the freshman.
No, it's not a throw. They were trying to get Sugarman in.
A little confusing just because the flag was pointed in the Bears' direction.
Pat Laughlin asking Welp, and Welp said, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'd imagine Sugarman wouldn't be going in for Welp.
No. Gorab serves it. Up goes English and heads it wide. The goal kick means the Bears will make a change. And now, it looks like Welp will check off for Lockheed. Sugarman in. Akil will take a quick timeout here with 20 and a half left. We'll tell you that Brown Soccer brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, open happiness.
The trainer's coming over to take a look at Welp. Don't want to take any chances, Mike.
No.
Even though you hate to take him out of your lineup, but let's face it, the game's starting next week. It's a little bit more important.
As Whalen. He still have flexibility. Remember, Whalen, folks, had been a center back, Mike. I mean, he can certainly play back there. I mean, you bring in Jamison Lockheed, who's played back there. Hagstrom's obviously given the Bears a shot of B12 in terms of their back line this year.
Yep, definitely options.
Yep. It's one place where it seems the Bears have some options is in back. On the left side, Pomeroy. For Whalen. He'll chip it up, looking for Sugarman. Sugarman managed to stay on. puts it across, looking for Will Cross, and that's going to be a corner kick for the Bears. They'll send Gorab over to take it. Bears have been on the attack really for the last maybe 8 or 9 minutes, including the Pomeroy equalizer.
Big boys will head up into the box. Zingis and English, kind of the safety valves, but they will play it short.
Just to lob it back from Gorab. Big win in the air. Becerra goes up as it was again Hagstrom with the shot on goal from the head.
A little shaking up on the play, I think was Hamill. Referee comes to check him out. Seems okay.
And look at that. It's about 6 o'clock and the field almost entirely covered in shadows.
I feel like you've done a game or two here before.
Just a couple. Not many 4:30 starts, though.
This is true.
Remember a few years ago, the women were doing those crazy midweek 3 o'clock starts.
Yeah, I don't think we made too many.
Oh, those were tough. There was one they were supposed to play, I remember, against Francis Marion starting at 3, but the refs had it on their schedule as 7. And so I was here for a while. It was the longest pregame show in the history of Brown Bears TV, or in the time, as it was called, the brownbears.com radio network. Been through a few incarnations. Ball pushed across off the restart. Gorab heads it away. Got a piece of it to English. Cross trying to step into it. Good turn by Cranmer. Puts it back in on Hansen. He'll punt it upfield. One in the air by Dunphy. Second ball, Seri. Whalen stepping back to the ball. Seri lost his footing, and Bueno fouls him. And they're going to say you got to put the ball back. Looks like Lockheed will take this restart for the Bears. He'll chip it up. Becerra's coming off his line. That one's headed back. English. He's going to want that one back.
Yeah, it was Hagstrom who had the initial flick and was making a bid for his 4th goal. As Becerra maybe coming out a little too far that time. Got himself in a vulnerable position, but Bears could not capitalize.
Bueno off. Morris back on. Morris out of Tucson, Arizona. Never been. I have a good friend who lives out there now.
Pretty toasty out there.
Yeah, I can imagine that he does not like the Amherst winter. English with the win. Dunphy. Check that was Merklin. And Zingas sets it out of bounds. 1-1 game. First half goal from Matthew Mooney of UMass. Matched by Nate Pomeroy of the Bears here in the second half. That could have been a foul. And Sugarman did a good job of turning that out of bounds off of Casey Hamill. So we're inside 16 to play. Thrown into a couple of maroon jerseys. Settled by Whalen, and he's upended. And Fran O'Leary saying, come on, but I mean.
It's the angle and the foot extension there by Morris.
Jack Gorab
from behind.
saying, you know, this isn't high school soccer. We can do the quick restart. And I could sense the frustration there. I mean, the Bears are trying to play these quick restarts, and that's the second straight one that they've asked to reset for no apparent reason, especially when there's no card being issued.
Right.
Inside 15 and a half to play. Gorab from Lockheed trying to switch for Pomeroy, and it's deflected out of bounds by Dylan Cranmer. And they're going to bring up English. Sending up Hagstrom as well.
Yeah, certainly his territory.
Tosses it in. Hagstrom gets a head on it. He's like a magnet.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly has a knack for getting to that ball. It's up in the mixer, and it's paid off in 3 goals already this season in just 6 games. Really nice to have a weapon you could bring up out of the back.
Ball played upfield. One in the air by Louis Zingas. Upended was English. English a little slow getting up, but seems to be all right as it was played there he was upended by Hamill. Lockheed waiting for some of his mates to get upfield. They have Zingas on the flank, and I don't think UMass knows he's there.
So,
Oh, sorry, sorry. They go the other way. Becerra waiting on it, and it sails into his hands.
Yeah, too deep.
It's the line from Major League. No, it's too high. Too high.
Too high.
What does that mean?
What do you mean too high? Becerra playing with fire a little bit there as Cross putting him under.
Pesic settles. Puts it up and over the top. It's not going to make it in on the netminder. Here comes English and Cross, set away by the D. Hagstrom in the air. Second ball from, I want to say that was Ellis. Checking back to the ball came Pomeroy. And a nicely played ball by Pesic yields a throw-in for the Bears.
UMass maybe looking like some of the tempo they've been trying to play at this game, catching up with them a little bit. So hard to go full 90 at the pace they've been playing.
Sugarman on the left side keeps it moving off the back of Will Cross. Puts it to Pomeroy on the left side. Pomeroy just slowed up by Dunphy. It was a nice play by Dunphy because he got the ball.
Enough to not get a foul called. As you can see, again, the fatigue maybe for UMass, it's translating into more fouls. Before they were playing as aggressive, but they were there, a half step earlier. Now a half step later, it's turning into fouls. Can the Bears take advantage?
I think the referee is he motioning to stop? No. I thought he motioned to stop the clock. It's a little early for that. That's a short 10 this time. No spray. Pushed upfield. Pomeroy got ahead to it. Sugarman keeps it for English. He wanted English, but he missed him. Here's Seri in transition. Good closing speed out of Sugarman. He's going to try and take it around Pesic. Here comes Gorab, who slid into him but missed. Got enough of it slowed down. Sugarman for Gorab and out to midfield. Here's Cross. Got a hand behind him. Pomeroy steps back to the ball. Sugarman settles, plays it Pesic left side. And the Bears will push it upfield. No one there as they were resetting their shape with inside 12 to play. Here's English on the near side. Checking to him is Hamill. And out of bounds, Zingas looking to throw. Tosses it in for English. And that's going to be a 2-point takedown.
I mean, Hamill just getting completely caught up with him.
Yeah, and then they're going to, the assistant referee, I think, seeing that,
Mooney came flying in at the last second, too, and kind of injured himself by crashing into
English. He kind of landed kind of funny, and English's foot was there. And Mooney saying he got kicked, but it was actually English trying to get himself out from underneath Hamill that caused that kick.
So clock stopped with 11:33, but it doesn't look like there'll be any bookings. Just a free kick for the Bears.
Ran O'Leary on the other side of midfield wanting an explanation. It's not coming. Pesic serves it up, headed in toward Becerra, and knocked away by one of the Minutemen. Sugarman there for the Bears will touch back for Jamison Lockheed. He'll serve it up and back in. Here comes Becerra, and you can see Zingas watching Becerra. Didn't want to go.
Yep, he held up and maintained everybody's safety there. Look at this. Is O'Leary on the other side of midfield still shouting at the AR. AR's telling him to get back to your coaching area, sir. We've had enough.
Well, and I think Pat Laughlin pointing out, you're on the wrong side of midfield, Fran. You go back to that side of the line. It's been a problem here this weekend. Maybe it needs to be wider or a different color.
Maybe they just need to mark out the coaching area to make sure that
English
don't wander.
English and Cross coming away with it. Stepping into it, a good recovery by Josh Jess causes the corner kick, but Cross and English wreaking havoc. Gorab will take the corner for the Bears.
Yeah, Brown fans coming back alive here. Really the first time we've heard decent noise out of them outside of the goal. But again, it's been not a ton to really cheer for.
No.
Today, at least. See if the Bears can capitalize here on corner kick number 5.
It's played up. Hagstrom headed it down and in. Whalen from inside the 6. Hagstrom should get an assist, as will Gorab. And the Bears have taken a 2-1 lead.
Counted for the captain, Tim Whalen's first of the season. Gives the Bears their first lead of the day. Comes in the 80th minute. After the corner kick, we said, the Bears have been dangerous on the corners. It was their 5th one, and there it was for the taking after kind of ping-ponging around for a while. Whalen able to knock it in.
Hagstrom was on the corner of the pipe, Mike, headed it back out. It might have hit another body in between.
His first of the season, score number 29, Tim Whalen. Time to goal, 79-58.
So an 80th minute goal. I don't think
No assists
yet.
given, but maybe they'll give one later. But either way, Whalen, after a tough first half, comes through with a huge goal with 10:02 remaining.
Leon back in. Quinn English checks out with 10 minutes even now left here in the second half. Bears coming from behind here in this second half, and now Hansen will wait for the run up by Samuel Asamoah. Lenoir Sarias headed to the bench for the Minutemen, albeit perhaps briefly. Hansen sending it upfield. Whalen chipping it ahead. Pomeroy off the near flank, looking to turn toward the corner, trying to take Mooney. Goes shoulder to shoulder, keeps his footing. Boy, that's a muscle man play right there.
Oh, yeah, you could just see that extra bulk that...
Oh.
All right, so Pomeroy just got called for a foul for being stronger.
Mooney seems to be okay. He was holding his face.
He lunged right
but
into him.
He does not appear that he's going to need the Phantom of the Opera mask anytime soon, and he'll be okay.
Oh, credit Pomeroy keeping his cool.
Credit the theater department at UMass Amherst. Up goes Leon, second ball in the midfield. Pomeroy's really been the spark
he's been
plug.
the spark today,
Yeah,
sure.
He's been the spark. It was that slide tackle.
And that's what you needed out of one of your upperclassmen,
It wasn't necessarily a tackle as much as it was, I'm going to get this ball back.
Right, it was like, I turned it over, I'm going to be responsible and get it back. And
that's exactly what happened. Ball sent out of bounds by Brown. 8.5 to play here. Bears lead 2-1. Again, if there's a silver lining here, it's the Bears have come from behind, and now we wait to see if the Bears play to win here, Mike, in these final minutes.
Seems like they are thus far, Mike, after scoring the goal. Continuing the press, keeping some fresh legs out there.
Hagstrom goes up, second ball, Leon. Challenged by Dunphy, able to get it back. And that is a dangerous.
You come spikes high from that far away, you're going to get called every time.
Surprised there's no card pulled, Mike. I think that's the third or fourth time Aaron Corman has said, one more time, guys, and I'm going to foul. I'm going to card you.
Well, if anything, time's still just ticking away, so maybe the Bears are just happy to keep that clock running.
Gorab tying his shoe. It comes to Pomeroy on the near side. This ought to be good. Touches back for Gorab.
Yep.
They're going to get Mooney for putting his hands on the back of Gorab.
Oh, yeah, you're not allowed to put your hand on top of the guy's shoulder and pull him down.
What sport?
No matter how tall you are.
What sport? Actually, I'm pretty sure that's a horse collar in football, so any sport is the answer. Gorab is going to taking a little too much time with that right shoe.
I think it actually is untied is the problem.
It is.
What now? Now what? Now what was the problem?
The clock is still stopped at 7:03. Bears looking to get perhaps Tariq Akil back into the match. The Bears will now use Sugarman on this restart or Gorab. Who do you think? They're going to send Sugarman toward the corner. Bears chip it up. Sugarman couldn't get a foot to it. Mooney, who has the UMass goal, with the touch for Morris. Switches fields. I think you made a good point, Mike. The Minutemen had a lot of energy in this one, but maybe just enough energy. We'll see if they have enough for the last 7 minutes.
It seemed to start petering out around 70, 75 minutes.
They're on the attack. Asamoah, good ball for Mooney, who whiffs. And that's a corner kick as Pomeroy was able to recover.
And Pomeroy needed to recover there as that was a great run by Matt Mooney.
Sari checking back in for UMass. Sugarman off for the Bears. Akil in for the Bears. And I'm not sure who comes out. It's Asamoah.
Yep.
Quick minutes for him for the Minutemen.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to give Sari a quick break as he's been running all over the field today.
That's a good corner kick.
Ooh,
and Hansen missed it. That was a really good corner kick, Mike. You saw it curling out from the corner of the 6 back into the far pipe.
Yeah, very difficult for a goalkeeper to make a play on it, and unfortunately nobody there on the back post.
Looks like they're going to get Asamoah back in quickly. I think we're going to see the formation change from UMass at some point to take a couple more chances here and put the Brown defense under a little more duress. The Bears ahead 2-1, 2 second-half goals from Pomeroy and Whalen, respectively. One in the midfield, one in the air. Pesic on the far side. It's a Brown throw, and the AR telling Pesic, let's hurry it up. He was waiting for the ball, boy. Pesic tosses it in from midfield. Cross putting under Ellis, and Ellis the long ball, sending Sari, who runs step for step with him, does Hagstrom. And Sari runs out of room. And that's a goal kick coming out. Asamoah will be able to check in here with 5 minutes to play. And here is the change.
So Dunphy out.
A little surprised by that. But good minutes out of Dunphy for UMass. As we're into the 86th minute. Long doubleheader here at Stevenson. Whalen, Ellis, and Asamoah, the touch back. Pesic gets a touch to it. The turn by Leone. Here's Asamoah working in on Whalen. Mark Morris, I think, did a little too much to try and sell it. He got tied up with Leone.
Well, he might have initiated it too.
Yeah, Merklin sticks a leg out, and he'll play it. That's Matt Pease. Pease, one of the 2 center backs for UMass. He came in late in the first half for Dylan Cranmer.
Good pressure there by Cross.
It's a bad throw. He had his leg up. But they haven't called the bad throw all week, so.
Great ball by Akil trying to pick out Cross. Far corner.
Trying to take his man into the corner, maybe draw a corner kick perhaps. Nope, Cross will set it back for Akil. He has room. Pomeroy fed by Akil, who's tossed down to the turf. Right there was a make-up foul from Morris, who continues to bark at the official. Pomeroy into the near side. That's out of bounds. A Brown throw-in. Tied 3.5 to play. Morris still a portrait of frustration out there for UMass. And now they're going to stop the clock with 3:24 because the Bears not sure who's taking this throw-in. Now they're going to send up Zingas, and Pat Laughlin saying to Whalen, you cover for Louis, but you guys got to sort this out. Say you learn something from your opponent sometimes. Very close to a bad throw for Zingas. Pomeroy on the double team, and that's going to be a foul on Massachusetts' Casey Hamill, and the Bears are going to send over Gorab. And you see UMass right there cost themselves some time. Will Ellis stood in front of the ball, and now the Bears will take the quick restart to Pomeroy. He's going to go right to the corner. Plays it to Gorab. Gorab fouled.
Yep. I mean, UMass is being too blatant, and I think, Mike, it's not just the frustration from this game. I think it's the frustration of what's been a tough season thus far.
Gorab probably going to play this across. He's looking around. There's only a couple of Bears. The AR saying you got to play it. Now he plays it short for Pomeroy. Wow, lunging over him in a bad way was Mark Morris. Gorab with a big smile.
That was the old swing and a miss.
You think? Stepping into it, it sails over the head of Pomeroy. Akil there. And here's Sari and Asamoah. Nice step there by Whalen, and they'll get him for the foul. Ball put down.
Akil's got to be careful. Don't want to pick up a silly.
Yeah. Akil gets called for a card. Man, if only this guy were here on Friday. There'd have been 17 cards.
Akil's got to be smarter than that,
He's
though,
got to
Mike.
be. It's the right call. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not disputing it.
I mean, you're talking last 2 minutes of the game, and you're purposely just saying that was just silly by Akil.
I'm not saying that.
No, I know what you're saying, but in terms of this game, you got to be smarter than that.
No question. Stops the clock for Massachusetts.
Right, exactly.
With 2:10, they're bringing up just about everybody, and Becerra will put it upfield. Headed out by Leone. Off the back of the head of Pease. He's going to try and catch up to it on that far flank. And we're inside 2 minutes to play. Cranmer. On that far side. Good read there by Gorab. Taken away by Pesic. And Cranmer will take the throw for UMass. Showing to him is Ellis. But they're going to bring over Hamill, who has a long throw, and they're going to bring up a couple of the bigger guys.
Someone's got to keep an eye on the guy running into the 18 there.
Merklin. One in the air by Whalen. Settled. Be better than a corner. It put across again off the back of Akil. Hansen's out of the net.
I think it was actually Cranmer who
got it off his back.
It, yep.
That's a nice play there by Pomeroy. Tried to turn it out of bounds. Centered. One in the air by Leone. Mooney with a head to it. Up goes Leone, or rather Gorab, and he was upended by, I think, Morris, who was, check that, 11. Sampson? Yeah, it was Sampson.
Time ticking away now. The Bears milking this one a little bit more. Hansen just really needs to knock it into one of the corners, and that'll kill this one off.
About 10 seconds ticked off.
Well, it's about the equivalent of what UMass had to use to get the long thrower over, so.
And that's going to be a foul on the Bears behind the play, I think called on Cross. They're going to let UMass take this from about 15 yards up. No, they're not. They're going to stop the clock and reset the ball, but that's UMass's fault, Mike.
Right. Brown did not touch it, so why do they need to stop the clock?
Oh, the referee just looked at the clock, which is...
yeah, Coach Laughlin is like, if they can't get the ball in the right spot, why do you stop the clock? The Bears did not touch it. Basically giving them
that's what
another
he just said.
Exactly.
He just said there is no reason to have stopped that clock.
No, there wasn't.
Whalen with a head to it. It's going to flesh out to the near side. 20 seconds left. Here's Mooney off of Pomeroy with the stick, and that's a throw. Mooney takes the throw off the back of Hagstrom. UMass is going to get one more corner kick.
No, they're not going to get it in, Mike. That's going to be it.
And a 2-1 victory.
They're
Snatched
survived.
from the jaws of defeat for the Brown Bears. As Brown takes a victory here, snaps a 3-game losing streak, will improve to 4-3, entering Ivy play next week with this 2-1 come from behind win over Massachusetts.